morning everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Beena, and this little fella here, who would be shivering if he was a human, but he isn't, so he's not, is Walter. Hope you're well. You join me on a beautiful sunny Sunday morning on the 22nd of December. I still don't have 6 gears on my bike, so I tried to go for one. It's a bit nippy. Every time I come out these days I seem to go 1 or 2 degrees lower on the temperature. Today is no exception. Oh, hello, we've got a kite just in the middle of the road there, took off. Beautiful. Yes, today it's 3 degrees Celsius, which is pretty cold. And apparently the feels like temperature is -6. So good job we're all wrapped up, because that is a bit chilly. 22nd of December today, so we are now getting longer nights. We've had the shortest day of the year, so we're going to start getting lighter at nights from here on in, although we're not really going to notice it until a few months' time, are we? But it's always a good thing to know that we've got some longer nights and some potential motorbiking evenings ahead of us. We're just off out on one of our random potters today. See where it takes us. No particular destination in mind. Just getting out and enjoying ourselves. Another kite up there. Quite a few out today, as there always is. I did ask my Alexa this morning whether it was going to rain today, and she said there is a 47% chance of rain at 10 AM, and I had to pick her up and show her the window, because as you can see there is no rain. There's barely any clouds in the sky, and it is 10 o'clock or just gone, so she's clearly an idiot. I say that, maybe that'll be foreshadowing, and just in a few minutes time you'll see me moaning, getting drenched in an unexpected downpour. But oh well, if it does, it does. Got waterproof gear on, not made of sugar, am I? Actually, it does look like a big black cloud just over there. Well, the one that I'm heading towards, so well done, Beena. As always, I have nothing planned to talk about. We'll just ramble and see what happens. I only have one mission today on my my ride out, and that's to get my wife some Space Invader crisps. if you're the same sort of age as me, in your 50s, another kite. You're probably well aware of Space Invader crisps, although as they're still going, like probably most people are. But when we were growing up, they were like the cheap crisps, potato chips. If you're in America, I'm talking about here. They were like 10 pence a bag. They're now 50 pence a bag now, but I guess that's inflation. This was 40 years ago, I'm thinking of, when I was a kid. But she really likes them. So you can't get them in supermarkets, but our local petrol station always seems to be well stocked with them, so I'm going to go and grab a big armful for her. For the kites. If only I'd have brought my camera with me, eh? So that's the only thing I've got to do whilst out riding. I do have to go to the garden centre later on and buy the birds their Christmas present, which is 2 big sacks of seed, because they're just about run out. So that's 50 quid, the greedy little bastards. But I don't think I'll be doing that on Walter here. Yeah, although you do see, don't you, in places like India, where he's from, that they whack loads of stuff on. They use bikes for transporting things, don't they? A cheap method of transport for them. You see them overloaded with massive amounts of stuff, but I am not going to risk that, because it's a recipe for disaster. to go in the car. Ugh, not the car. There's another kite. That's, wow, he's low. That's it's about the 6th one I've seen since I've been out. It's prime time for them. So I was just taking in the views there. It's lovely when it's sunny around here. So yeah, soon be Christmas. Only a few days now. We get to play with all our toys that we've got from our loved ones. I have to go and do a journey to see my mum tomorrow. Annoyingly, I won't be able to do that on Walter here because the weather's going to be a bit rainy and blustery, I think. But also, my mum's I've got stuff I've got to take to my mum for Christmas, and she's going to give me stuff, so it's not all going to fit on Walter, unfortunately, which is a shame because it's a brilliant ride. Well, there's two routes to go to my mum's house. There's the one that goes straight up the M1 for 25 miles, and it's as boring as shit, but efficient. Or there are two different country routes that I can take that take me through lots of different villages, very scenic. It does take me about an hour and a half each way, so it adds. Yeah, it doubles the amount of time it would normally take me on the M1, but very worthwhile. But yeah, we'll be taking the boring one tomorrow, and then it's just me and Mrs. Beena and Bob the dog for Christmas Day. And we've both got a couple of weeks off now from work, which is wonderful. We don't usually get that amount of time together because jobs that we do mean that we can't always get the time off at the same time, but this year we have, so a couple of weeks off is going to be absolutely wonderful. Just relax and not get stressed out. So yeah, back on the 6th of January. Let's go down here, shall we? Why not? I was just remarking to Mrs. Beena just before we came out, I jokingly said I've got to go and do my influencer duties and then said that I'm the worst kind of influencer really, because I'm one that doesn't get paid. But I've had a few people tell me since I started the channel that they've bought a bullet as a result of watching my channel. I think I've had at least 3 people who said they've bought one. There's been a couple of people who've bought one of these Beeline Moto jobbies. Someone recently was buying some gloves that I've got. I've had people buying all sorts of gear that I've had. And I hope those of you who have bought the things that I've been talking about like them. Like them as much as I do. But yeah, why am I not getting paid for this? I feel like I should be on commission. I mean, it's something I would never aspire to be as an influencer. It's one of those things that I kind of despise, the influencer culture. I mean, some of it's okay, but you just get a lot of absolute dross, don't you? Kind of self-absorbed, narcissistic people just trying to hawk whatever for their own gain. No thank you, I'd rather just ramble on about absolutely nothing, just for my own pleasure. And that's what I'm doing. And let's face it, I've only got about 530 followers. No one's going to be sponsoring me. Although, if there are any companies out there who've got any kind of cream or spray to stop my right eye streaming every time I come out on my bike in the cold weather, then hit me up. I'm not sure such a thing exists, but I wish there was. Just going to take it a little bit careful around here because it is, like I say, 3 degrees. And I don't know whether there's going to be any dodgy icy patches knocking about anywhere. Oh, I come down here. This is an awful road to get across. Let's see if we get lucky today. Oh my god, we have got lucky today. Really lucky today. It's Sunday morning, perhaps everyone's in bed. Or sat in their toasty PJs eating bacon rolls, drinking hot cups of tea like they should be at 10 o'clock in the morning when it's 3 degrees out. You nutters like me out braving the elements. Nice though, because you get the roads to yourself. Although these roads are always quite quiet, to be perfectly honest. Although, yeah, where are we? Sunday, Friday. I had to take my dog to the vet to get his monthly injection that he has, his vaccination booster. And I went sort of midday-ish around some country routes I usually go around, and it was absolutely heaving. And I guess it was because it was the last day of school, and I think a lot of the schools were breaking up at midday, so the school run effectively happened at midday. The traffic was insane. I really don't miss that. Working from home is an absolute blessing. I don't miss having to navigate the rush hours every morning and every evening anymore. I've forgotten just how dreadful it was around here for that. As ever, I apologise if I'm going to be sniffling. It's really cold, and I'm at that age, obviously. I don't know what age it is you get to when you're a middle-aged man, where you just get a runny nose when you're doing anything. There is another kite up there. Shall we go down here? Let's go down here. Our old route, we haven't been down here for a while. Under the aforementioned M1, just up here, isn't it? Sounds great. Oh, some really low sun. I can't see buggery here. There we go, that's better. This looks like a nice little sleepy village, this Tingrith. It's quite cute. I used to live in a beautiful little village in Bedfordshire. I'm still in Bedfordshire, and I do live in a village. My village is kind of like a commuter village, so it's a little bit soulless. It doesn't have a local shop. It did used to have a local shop, which was a post office and a shop, but it was dreadful. It was run by a couple who used to smoke really, really heavily. So you'd walk into the shop, and obviously they'd be smoking out the back because they're not allowed to smoke in the shop itself, but obviously they did it with the doors open, so you'd walk in and it just stank of fags. It was just like a haze as you walked in, and they never had anything in stock. They had like the most random soft drinks in there, you know, majority of people, I guess, drink, you know, Coke, Diet Coke, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, that kind of stuff, 7-Up. They had things like Diet Dr Pepper. I mean, who the hell drinks that? And if you asked for anything like, oh, do you have any Diet Coke? They'd be like, no, we can get some in for you. Well, that's not particularly helpful when I want some now. And they had the most random selection of magazines as well that, again, weren't flood. Oh dear. Hopefully that's gone. Yeah, the most random selection of magazines, like custom motorcycle magazines, or I don't know, Lathe Monthly or something. Oh, it's dark through here. And I remember one particular time when the World Cup was on, and they'd done a really half-assed attempt at some kind of display. And what it amounted to was a circular kitchen table at the far end of the shop. I mean, the shop was dinky, it was really small. But it had this circular table, and then just a load of cans of beer. not arranged in any kind of aesthetically pleasing order, but just all gathered together in a big clump in the middle of the table, and then a little bit of bunting around the outside, and that was their World Cup display. It was really pitiful, and unsurprisingly, they went out of business, and so consequently we don't have a shop there now. It got turned into a house instead, which is a real shame, because you'd think that it would do quite well. You know, you could do a reasonable trade in a village, because we are, I mean, we're not miles away from towns. Oh, you know, having said that, we've got a big Lidl now, it's only 5 minutes away. But prior to that, you could have certainly had a nice little shop there. Particularly as we've got a farm in our village which has freshly laid chicken eggs and chickens to buy to eat. Could have had those in there, some local produce. Anyway, so we don't have that. We have a pub, as any good village should, and that's not your traditional village pub. It's more of a restaurant-y type pub you go to. So it doesn't have that kind of cosy, welcoming village feel about it. It's almost, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you need to eat and get the fuck out of here, because we want to give your table to the next person. And the food has really gone downhill. It's absolutely dreadful. It's had so many negative reviews on Google. So yeah, we never go there. And that's a real shame, because the village that I used to live in, the other village I used to live in Bedfordshire, was a place called Turvey. And it's a proper old school little village with really pretty little houses in. We rented a little bungalow there whilst my wife was training for her job, so it was only ever a temporary thing. And we couldn't have afforded to buy a house in this village because house prices were very high. But we got a good deal on the bungalow. Wow, it's busy down here today. And yeah, it was a proper traditional old village, so it had, you know, thatched roof cottages, that kind of thing. And it had 2 pubs in that village, even though it was tiny. And one of them was brilliant. The one that we used to go in was called the Three Cranes. Was it 3 Cranes or just the Cranes? I can't remember. But it was really welcoming. I mean, it had like a meat raffle. So there was a local butchers in the village, and they had like a meat raffle every Friday, which we would quite often win, which was great because that had set us up for our Sunday dinner that week. And everybody knew everybody. It was a really lovely atmosphere. It was only a tiny little place. and we got invited along to there was a barmaid that lived there who had worked there for many years, and we got invited along to her 50th birthday party, which is lovely. So, you know, it's the sort of place where, imagine Cheers, where everyone knows your name. And the local shop, we had a couple of local shops, at the post office as well. They always made a real effort and are very friendly. Oh, we love that village, we'd love to live there again. It's a shame that our current one isn't like that. It is just a little bit soulless, really. There's a lot of new houses, there's very few old kind of cottages or anything. Mainly kind of new builds from like 70s and 80s, some from the 50s. But then you need the cash if you want to go and live in a nice place, don't you? Oh, I can't see very well. And that's not just because my eyes are streaming. Going down here, yeah, let's go down here. We'll head to the garage and get Mrs. Beena those crisps that she so richly deserves, because she's a lovely lady. Well, I have to say, even though it's 3 degrees with another kite, and another kite. Even though it's 3 degrees with a wind chill of -6, apparently, I'm not fared too badly at all. Nice and toasty. I tell you what has really helped with my upper body. I wear a base layer, and it's not a fancy one. I got it from, I think it's from Primark. It's just like a base layer, long sleeve top, and long johns type thing. So they're not like really highly rated or anything. And I used to wear that with a t-shirt on top of it. And that wasn't warm enough, and this jacket that I'm wearing, and that wasn't warm enough. So then I had to put a thickish jumper on top of it as well, and that just about did the job. But it was quite bulky. Now I know that I could buy a more expensive base layer, but I didn't. But what I did buy recently was some kind of mock turtlenecks from Amazon, really cheap mock turtlenecks, because I wanted something to keep me warm when I was up working in the daytime. And they're only kind of t-shirt material type thing, but a little bit thicker, so they're almost like a base layer in themselves. But what I tried a week or so ago, I thought, let me just try wearing this turtleneck and my cheap Primac base layer on top of it, and it's really toasty. I'm absolutely perfectly warm here, and there are only 2 very thin layers, so there we go. Don't know why I mentioned that, just thought I'd share it. cheap turtleneck from Amazon and a cheap base layer from Primac. That's all you need, folks. Don't need what it is. Actually, I was looking recently at the I can't remember what they're called. You know me, I can never remember what things are called. These fancy base layers from Japan. Oh, I can't remember what they're called. Maybe I'll flash it up on screen. And they're supposed to be the warmest base layers you can get. And they've got like a rather than just being like a microfiber or a smooth sort of interior, they've got what looks like a woolen type effect inside, but not itchy. And apparently the motion of that rubbing together on you creates warmth, and then also traps the heat inside. And I thought, well, that sounds good. I'd quite like to get some warmer base layer long johnny type things. Don't have a 6 gear. They're like 60 quid or something for a pair of long johns. I thought I'd clean that. But yeah, moral of that is you don't need to if you get some cheap stuff and just layer it effectively. There you go. But yeah, everything else perfectly warm. The only things that are a little bit cold are the tips of my fingers. I can live with that. Who needs tips of their fingers? I'll saw them off, Serrano Fine style, in the shed if they get frostbite. What a legend that man is. Right, I think probably going to call this a day in a bit. Unless do you want to have a look through Toddington? Do you want to come and see Toddington as I pull up at the garage? It's not the most exciting, is it? It's another nice little village. It actually has a proper high street with, well, I say a proper high street. There's a collection of shops on there, which is unusual for a village of this kind of size. Though having said that, it is quite a large village. I'm just waffling now, aren't I? Should we end this? Say our goodbyes as we get to the church up here. This is probably going to be my last video for the year. Well, no, not for the year, but before Christmas. It's only a few days away. Oh, bells are ringing. Oh, makes sense. It is Sunday, isn't it? We're coming down here. We're coming out, everyone. So yeah, this is going to be my last one before Christmas. Got a cramp in my hip now for some reason. So, if I don't speak to you again, I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. And if you do get out on your bike, like me, in the cold weather, then make sure you stay safe, keep your shiny side up, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!